Hello and welcome to another cables tutorial. This time it's a bit different because we want to show you how you can contribute to cables without being a programmer or without being a GitHub profi at all, but still can help us with cables. It's a question that we get often, that something is off in the documentation or there's a typo in the documentation or something like this and people want to help. So this is now easier than ever. Because, as you hopefully know, Cables is now completely open source and on GitHub, and that makes us much easier to contribute. And other people see that you contribute to the project. So fully open source workflow. So you saw this nice operator, and you found like a typo in the summary here. So this says numbers. It should say numbers. And so we want to fix this, and this is how it works. So as you can see here, there's a little section GitHub with a little source link. So we will open that link, and we are on GitHub, and we see the source code for this operator, and we see there's a little JS file, a JavaScript file. So this is basically the source code from this operator. Then we see a JSON file, which is like meta description for this operator. So the summary is in here. Then we see an MD file, which is a markdown file, which is like the longer description. In this case, not that long, but this description here. And then we see a screenshot PNG. So what we want to edit the JSON because the summary is in that JSON file. So we open it and we see this is a JSON file. Don't feel intimidated about the curly brace and all this kind of stuff. We can just ignore this. And we see there's a point summary and there is the text that we want to change. So how do we do that? So there's this little edit icon here which says fork the repository and edit the file. So the workflow for this is basically to create a pull request in the end. And for this, we have to clone the repository and then edit the file, and then propose the change to us, the cables team. So this sounds really complicated, but it's really just a few clicks. So I click this edit button, and it will say, blah, 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 you need to fork this. Yeah, let's just fork this. You only need to do this once. If you want to make more changes, then you only have to fork it once, and then you can work with this one. But it's really not so important. So now we search for the summary. Now this is a text editor, so I can make our change here. Can just edit the file. So we change it, animate between two numbers. So to save this, we have to click the green button here. So there's no other green button, commit changes. So we are committing this to Git. And we can enter a commit message. So you can say something like update the file or fix typo, something like this. It's not that important. And then we can click propose changes. And then GitHub does all the work. And then you see, okay, this is the change that we did. We removed this and we added this. So GitHub thinks we replaced the whole word. So that's great. So this is basically just for you to see what you are doing. And now you can create the pull request. So you can click the green button, create pull request, and then it's basically the same title again, and you finally click create pull request. And now it will do some background checks, whatever. This source code is compatible or it does merge. And now it's our turn. Now we will get a notification from GitHub that you submitted a change. And we get the same view and we see which file you changed and what the changes is. And then we can accept the change and push it back into the repository. And then automatically when we do this, it's basically like 2 minutes later, it's on dev.cables.gl, the change, and then you can see it there. So this is really integrated in our usual cables development workflow. So yeah. Please help us, feel free to help us and try it out. And we will be really happy. And also if you're a programmer, it's the same way, right? So don't be afraid to make a mistake or something, because we can always say, no, we don't want this change, or we can discuss it, or we can leave some remarks, or whatever. There can be a discussion can be created, and for us this is really helpful to get help for fixing those documentations and stuff like this. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.